Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome in to another edition of the Right Side of Campus. It is Monday, November 11th, 2019. Another night, another dollar here. Donnie writes another week here after a big weekend in college football and the NFL. College basketball as well ends its first week, but it's back to the grind. New week. We'll finish it up tonight. Monday Night Football, Seahawks and Niners. We also have some college basketball, and we'll relive the weekend that was in sports. Hope you're all having a great day. Donnie, how you doing?
Doing good, man. I can't wait. I'm excited Monday. Got a lot to talk about, some interesting college football games that took place on Saturday. You had a full weekend of college basketball as well. Sort of those underlying games. We had a lot of fun in those early beginning games where they had some major Titanic matchups. But I'll tell you what's going to be interesting looking forward, where college basketball is going to go. Looks like, Jeff, three-point line came up a tick over the weekend, so maybe teams getting used to it. A lot more of that and fun today, Mac. I'm looking forward to it. I love reviewing on Mondays.
Yeah, it should be a good show. As always, Donnie, make sure if you're new around here, you subscribe. If you're joining us, say hello. It says my mic sounds different.
Okay. Yeah, it does. It sounds like it's not your mic, your headset you're talking on.
Yeah, let me figure that out here. I think I was recording a video. I didn't want to have my headset on.
There you go. Back.
Yeah. I never changed it back. Hope you can all hear me well now. Hope you're having a great day. Say hello in the chat box as always. Always a well-received show. This one is, Donnie. We're building this show, Donnie. We're building it.
Yes.
I want to bring something up, Donnie. I'm sure you can relate to this with, obviously you're a bit older than me, but I'm into my 30s now, and I've, Donnie, more and more become an adult every day. You start doing things that you didn't care about when you were a kid. And, Donnie, you know what my excitement is now?
What's that?
I couldn't believe it. I went to the store before the show because I want to get it because I have a lot to do during the day, so I want to take care of it before I start my shows. And you know where I found myself? I was so excited. I was in like the cleaner aisle, like the cleaners.
Yeah. And
I just got a new couch. So I wanted to give it a nice smell to it, so I'm looking at cleaners and all these brushes and stuff. And I'm so excited after the show. I have like an hour where I could just Donnie, I'm really weird. Not a lot of people know this, but I'll share my life a little bit with you guys. I'm obsessed with my house has to look a certain way. So I dust every day, every single day. I get my pledge out and I dust every day. I don't want fingerprints. I don't, I want it to smell nice. I got my candles and I vacuum my carpet, Donnie, every day. So I'm so excited that now into my routine, now I can do the cleaning on my couch. I got my new chair here. I'm starting to come together as a human being, Donnie.
Look, man, you're growing up. You're right. I wish I was that way because I could see dust right now in the corners of my desk right now. I'm more of a
I hate it.
Pack rat, so to speak. So
Bro, I hate it.
Good for you, man.
I hate I make my bed as soon as I wake up. My house has got to be nice. I can't have it like these fucking people that live a certain way. I need it clean. I need to wipe my tables down, wipe my stuff down. I mean, Donnie, you ever see some of these people that have dishes in their sink and dude, take the dishes out, put them in the fucking dishwasher.
Yeah, look, man, you're very neat and cleanliness, Jeff. You're meticulous. It usually rubs off in ways that you like to cap. You don't leave nothing unturned, right?
Try not to. Yeah, that's the point, Donnie. Sure. It's all about finding those little minute details. But thank all of you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed my growing up story. Donnie, you mentioned you don't like these kind of chairs. I'm loving this chair. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I switched back. I have I bought, and it's actually sitting right to the left of my desk, a huge gamer chair. I used it for shooting shows for about 30 days, and I find myself liking the real comfortable office chair way better. The rocking is better in it. It's just more comfortable to me. And I thought it looked a little bit cool. I don't really see it behind you, but mine was, I guess, a little bit taller. So it almost looked like I was sitting in LeBron James's chair or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool looking chair. Looks like it will be comfortable overall, but I never could get back into it. I just went back out and bought another chair.
I got a big ass head, so you can't see it. Packed full of info. Yeah. You can actually see Michael Jordan's eyes now. See above me.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, how about that?
All right, let's get into the show. Oh, and by the way, Donnie, as we're on the Big E Michael Jordan pictures, you listened to that track I sent you, the Gangstar track.
Yes.
That's a good track, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like you just pulled it from 1994. That's exactly what
best.
it is, man. Yeah.
Such a great track.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the show. Hope you enjoy it today. Look at this. We already got people in here. Usually before we were fighting to get listeners. People didn't know we were on. Now it's a couple minutes in. We already got people watching us. All right, let's get into some headlines here. We always start out the show with the morning headlines. First story, Donnie, Dion Waiters. Dion Waiters is in the news. We haven't heard from Dion in a while.
What a loser.
We kind of, he's down in Miami doing his thing. He's been with the Cavs, Philadelphia guy. You always see the Philly guys do well. Dion Waiters was suspended today, 10 games after conduct detrimental to the team off an incident where he had taken edibles on a boarding team plane. Obviously, I'd imagine this is a normal thing to do in the NBA. Obviously, consuming marijuana is not exactly.
Well, does THC show up in your bloodstream?
Sure, I would imagine. Yeah, of course.
So you would get to. So if that's a normal thing, wouldn't they all get suspended?
Well, I'm going to guess that this kind of overthrows that there's not much of a drug policy testing going on. Maybe?
No, I thought I read one time in the NBA they actually test like one time a year and tell you like 4 months ahead of time. So.
Yeah, so there you go. So they kind of, Donnie, remember that episode? I don't know if you remember this, but in The Wire, Dennis Wise, the boxing guy, gets out of jail, and he starts deciding whether he wants to go back to work for Avon Barksdale again. Yeah, and he mentions to the one character, he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "I can't do coke." He goes, "I gotta take a piss test." He goes, "Shit," he goes, "You worried about a piss test?" And they go to this like random guy on the street and he goes, "Where can I get clean piss at?" He goes, "I get mine from daycare," and like he buys the piss for like $5. These guys know when the fucking piss test is coming.
Yep.
But Dion Waiters, Donnie, I guess after consuming the edibles, suffered a panic attack, and I guess fell out. And Donnie, I don't know. We always kind of read these athletes. They have these concerns and issues, and maybe have personal problems in their own life. Dion Waiters is a young guy. Who knows what's going on in his life? He decides he might want to escape for a couple of hours. He's not, he's doing a decent job in the NBA. He's not like a terrible player who never plays. He's kind of a swingman kind of guy. I know Dion Waiters, Donnie, doesn't seem like he's ever kind of gotten away from like the childish stuff.
Yes.
I know a couple of years ago, Donnie, Dion Waiters' brother was murdered in Philadelphia, I remember. And one of my first comments about it was, why does Dion Waiters' brother still live in Philadelphia? I mean, you got to get your brother and your family out of there. And it maybe seems like he's a little too close to the street still. Dion Waiters definitely got to mature a little bit here.
No, I think that was always the issue with Dion Waiters was immaturity. It's just one of those guys that was never going to buy into like your team concept. Almost like, hey, we need you to sacrifice a little bit. And he's the type of guy like, yeah, I'm going to get mine, and then we'll talk about sacrificing later. It's one of those types.
Yeah, I mean, the kid's got a ton of money. He's in Miami doing his thing. He probably didn't think that this would really bother him as much as it did, and he just took one too many, Donnie. I want to read. I said he took like a couple of them. Like it was a lot.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the edibles. I've never partaken. Again, like I'm an older guy, so no more college days of 20, 25 years ago at that point. So I'm outside the loop on what you're supposed to eat and do all this stuff with, what's becoming legal. I'm just too old for that, at this point in my life.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I've never been one of these weed people, but so Dion Waiters ain't gonna play for a while. Dion Waiters, I don't believe, has played this year yet anyway. So I don't think it matters. I think he's still injured. But Donnie, a sad story out of Lansing, Michigan. Very sad, actually. Cassius Winston, who many would agree is the best player in the country. His brother, Zachary Winston, reportedly stepped in front of a moving train this weekend and killed himself. Very sad story. If you know anything about these two, there's actually three brothers, Donnie, Cassius, and then two other brothers, and they both play at a smaller college not far from Lansing. They're both basketball players. They had become fixtures around the Michigan State. Remember, Donnie, last year, Shiz Austin's father, he was always around the Temple.
Sure. Yep.
Sometimes you always see the same families around. Reportedly, they had become kind of mainstays at the games. This is incredibly sad. Donnie, you always hate to see someone pass away. If it's an older person, you kind of say to yourself, well, they lived a full life. They were 80 years old or whatever. I think the saddest thing is when a person young dies, whether, it was they committed suicide, however they died. Horrible, very sad. And this goes to show, very simply, we have a little bit of an audience here. If you know someone that is having trouble with life, call them, go hang out with them, ask them if they need help, give them something, make them happy. Sometimes someone, Donnie, just needs, hey, you're important to me, and I don't know what this kid's situation was. Seems like he was very happy with his life, but Donnie, Cassius Winston, who, I know if my brother died, I probably would take a step away from here for a pretty long time. Cassius Winston decided to play last night, and he had a double-double in a 50-point win over Binghamton. Good for him. You hate seeing young people die.
Yeah, no, you do. And I wish, look, I don't even want this to go the wrong way. I wish Tom Izzo would have stepped up in this spot. Like, I get some people need to get back to work within a certain round. Just Andy Reid did in Philadelphia. He took like 3 days off after his kid passed away and says, look, this is my medication here coming back with my team. I really wish Tom Izzo would have said, hey, Cassius, look, man, you are family. We're playing Binghamton. Hang out with your family tonight. We're going to get this win. We're going to go to your house. We're going to circle the wagons. We're going to do it in privacy, because what I don't like about this is, the kid is going through so much. And shout out to the photographers who knew to get to the game like 2 hours early, because you knew he would be sad and probably crying somewhere on the bench, to make sure you got that on tape. Shout out Tom Izzo after the game, probably going, make sure all these cameras are on right here and the recruits are watching, and putting on a tier display in front of everybody. Can't you just let the kid grieve in private and just let him have his private space? It seemed like everybody was just trying to get in on this story, and what a shame. Yeah,
Donnie, I got to tell you, I'm always very supportive of your thoughts. I think most of the time we agree. I couldn't think you're more wrong here. I get Tom Izzo's not the most. Look, I don't love some of the things he's done off the court. Of course I don't. Some of the stuff he's done has been Bush League, and especially with some of the Nasser stuff. I thought this issue was handled the right way. Unfortunately, you cannot prevent photographers from being shitheads. But from what I understand, and again, I've read some of the blogs in Lansing. From what I understand, Izzo told the kid, look, I'm not going to tell you how to grieve here. You should take some time away. I don't care if it was a national title game. Izzo would have told the kid, take some time away. From what I understand, Winston was one of these kids that wanted to be out there. I don't think any of it was fake. I think Izzo, do I think he cares about the student body? Probably not. But I do think he cares about the kids. I think he is someone that, I'm not going to say I wouldn't want to coach my kid. I think he's a terrific coach. Do I think he's had some transgressions off the court with handling things? Yes. But I don't think any of it was fake, according to me.
Fake is not the right word, but opportunistic is probably the better one, because, over the past 2 years, Tom Izzo's gone down like 19 pegs in my book with his antics after games in light of real life situations. Like, you bring up the Nasser situation where he's telling people, don't worry about this. We're winning on the basketball court. We're healing on the basketball court for this whole Larry Nasser and the 200 victims. So he goes down a lot of pegs. But just after that game, seeing him, it's just because I know when coaches are on that level, it's just like, this is good. Nobody's going to be able to, because I'm a cynic, so I'll criticize. Nobody's going to criticize. Let me pontificate for like 5 minutes at this point.
I think you're cynicizing a little too much here. Just my thoughts. I think he knew the kid. I think he kind of. Donnie, I'm not going to ever cry on camera, but this makes me want to cry. It's sad. I never want to see a young person die. I don't care if it's, something they did or not. It's sad either way. And people that commit suicide are sad to me, because I think sometimes they just need like someone to care about them.
No,
there's
right.
a lot of people that don't have a life like you or I,
and they're too young, or maybe they don't have an outlet and they don't really understand what they're about to actually do at that point. Yeah. Talking it through makes sense.
And I think, Donnie, The Sopranos, I think that was one of the great things about the show is I as I rewatched the show several times, I became very sad about the Gloria Trillo situation in the show, where she was crying out for help. And Tony, I think in a way, hated her, but I think he felt bad for her too, because he was never able to really help her, and he was an aid in her killing herself at the end of the day. And I think you can never help people, but it's sad to hear about this kind of stuff. And good for the kid. I mean, he goes out and I guess basketball is his oasis, and he did something I couldn't do, Donnie. I could never play a game like that and do it at a high level. So
no, it's tough, and I hope he takes the time to decompress, because maybe it was a little bit too new. Maybe because you see this a lot, like when it's so new, you don't believe it for a couple of days. So maybe getting back to normalcy was okay. I hope they have some downtime, because I'm sure they got a lot of cupcakes on their schedule where this kid can step away for a week and a half, get his thoughts back together, recharge, and come back as a healthy human here and live his life productively, like hopefully we wished his family, his brother would.
If I know this kid like I feel like I know him as a player, I don't think he'll take one day off, to be honest. They don't play again until Thursday, so I think that's
good. That'll give him a little bit of time then. Good. He'll probably have the space now he needs now. Good.
Yeah. Definitely sad, though.
Yep.
All right, one other thing, Donnie. LSU, Alabama, big game over the weekend. I don't know. I thought it was disappointing. I mean,
what? How did you watch that game and think disappointment?
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because it was bad football. That's why.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, Alabama was horrific defensively. It's true. I mean, I'm not lying here. I thought Alabama was really underwhelming, personally. I thought they'd be a lot better. I thought they'd put up more of a fight. But I think one thing, Donnie, was clear over the weekend, that Joe Burrow is the best player in the country, and he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. I'll tell you right now, for someone that watches college football like we do, I watched LSU a lot last year. Joe Burrow seemed to me as Donnie one of those guys that's, like an LSU guy, Anthony Jennings, or one of those guys that just, he's not a great player. He just kind of does enough. But I know we crack on Ed Orgeron a lot, Donnie. We crack on LSU a lot.
Yeah.
But one of the greatest coaching hires in the history of coaching hires was bringing in Joe Brady as your passing game coordinator. I mean, what a fucking coaching job he's done. What a job they've done down there. And I know we knock Ed because of his way he talks and his bayou drawl, and maybe he's not a great X and O coach, but Donnie, I'm beginning to see it. Coaches like Ed Orgeron are everything right with coaching. They just are, because kids love them. Yeah. Kids want to play for them. They're going to get great. Look at Herm Edwards. They're just motivators. That's what a coach is. And that's what we don't understand about coaches. That's what they are. They're all encompassed into one. What an impressive season they've had. I've been really impressed with Ed Orgeron and what he's been able to bring in and hire down there.
It's fun to watch, because I knock Ed. And again, I have to take a back step on this, because sometimes it's not your acumen as the head coach. It's who you actually put around you that makes you the smartest head coach in the world, which is what he's doing, which is awesome. I have to tell you one thing about the game, which I like the direction that it's going. If you are a recruit in college football, Jeff, right? And you say, I'm looking at Miami, looking at Ohio State, I'm looking at Texas, I'm looking at USC. How can you, if Alabama lays a scholarship down on your desk and says, you know what, we want you to come here, why don't you come out into the LSU-Alabama game and just take in the atmosphere? They are 100 miles ahead of every single institution. Number one, you're going to get probably the best coaching staff that you're going to have, the best training table, the best access, go against the best competition in practice. And their game day display is outrageous. And if I'm an 18-year-old kid where they turn the lights out and they shoot the lights and they play music and the crowd is rocking, I don't know how you compete with that. Like, I look at teams like Miami and Florida State and whoever would be trying to get to that level and say, you guys are losing out, because Alabama is doing it right. I was so impressed with their game day theatrics, as you could say.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the corny, like, club atmosphere. Like,
I love it. I think if I was a young kid, 18 years old, had the world by the balls in sports, and I showed up to watch Alabama play.
By the way, like, I'm not sure if you know this, but every stadium.
They take it up. They're another level. Like, stadiums usually do it on like touchdowns.
Yeah.
Alabama was doing it coming out of every single commercial break. I never saw that.
Yeah.
Like, the Packers do it when they score a touchdown. They'll flash the lights. The Yankees will flash the lights on a home run. Georgia flashes the lights. They must have that nightclub on 25 times.
Listen,
that
if I'm a good recruit, like a top 10 recruit, I mean, there's nowhere else I'm going but Alabama. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, if you go there and you're good, you're going to the next level.
Yeah.
And, you have, like you said, you have the best of the best there. So, yeah, it's a cool atmosphere. I was just more disappointed with Alabama. I thought defensively they'd be a lot better. They were a sieve. Donnie.
Dude, go back. I don't know if I've seen something like – I remember Johnny Manziel went in there and put on quite a show, but I don't know if I've seen a top-level football game against top-level competition where he had every right answer, Joe. And I'm talking about even – forget about the quarterback just making the right plays, throwing the ball deep, throwing in the coverage, throwing outs, making the right reads. Whenever they needed a touchdown, Jeff, LSU went out and got it. When Alabama started putting the screws at them and coming back like, here comes Bama, this is when they run you over, they answered the bell every time. And that last drive where they did the fake quarterback draw pass for about 40 yards, I almost lost my mind sitting in my seat going, this team is going to win a national championship. I was in love with LSU.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Man.
I was also, Donnie, I thought Alabama's offense was good. I just felt like they got it back in the game, but that defense just couldn't get a stop and just, it didn't look like an Alabama defense.
No, it didn't.
I thought Tua Tagovailoa tried to do too much. It was too much of him trying to become a running quarterback. Just Danielson said it well, and Danielson was right. Sit in the pocket and throw the football. I mean, that's how you beat LSU. LSU's pass defense is, outside of Delpit, not great. Move the football.
They got some wild weapons. Alabama's wideouts are outrageous.
They're good. But listen, if you're Jerry Jeudy, I mean, you've got to catch that football. I mean, that was a game changer, Donnie. You can't drop the football there. That's not what the best receiver in the country does. I don't want to listen. If you're the best, Donnie, you don't drop the football, especially in that situation. Definitely tough. Couple of comments. A lot of people like it. I will say, Donnie, if we are able to get LSU, Ohio State, with Chase Young, Justin Fields, Burrow, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And Donnie, yes, I'll tell you one thing. One thing you did say that I think was a good point. When you watch games like Alabama, LSU, they're just on a different level than
level. It's like, crazy, man. You're right.
You look at you look at pathetic Tennessee, like teams like that. Like pathetic, like that.
Even on a low, like a higher level. Like look at
Penn State, Minnesota.
Yeah, Georgia and Missouri. It's like okay, it's nice.
Yeah, Hal Abrams is saying, Quan White, your Vols are red hot. Yeah, they are.
Yes.
You know what? They are red hot. Too bad they can't get to a bowl game, though. That sucks. You hate to see that.
Quan said he celebrates wins over Kentucky now.
You got to be happy that you beat UAB and Kentucky. What a fucking bunch of losers. What a loser group. What a loser fan base. What? I got to love Michigan as well. Let me bring those shitheads up.
Go ahead.
I have friends that are Michigan fans. And I'm talking about best friends.
Yeah.
And him in particular, Donnie, Ryan D'Amico, who has such a loser mentality now that he doesn't even root for his team anymore. He just goes to root for other teams to beat teams that are better than his team. And that's what teams like Tennessee do. They're so delusional and bad that they'll actually go root for other fan bases because their own fan base and teams suck so bad that they're almost relegated to root for other fans. Your Vols are red hot. They beat UAB and fucking Kentucky. And by the way, Donnie, they only have 3 wins in the season. Yikes. No bowl game for the Vols this year. That stinks.
Yeah, so what game I was actually really rooting for as well, Jeff? App State, man. How about App State? Boys going in, knocking down an SEC team, and then looking at, South Carolina. I don't know what they, hey, we got J. Davion Clowney and this and that. Oh, well, no bowl for you either.
Oh, with South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina. App State went in there and played. I watched that right down to the end, man, just rooting for App State to win that football game, and they did. It's crazy how they cut into some of those every once in a while. I'm like, you know what? Go App State, man.
Yeah. I love how Quan White, every time you bring up Tennessee, he tries to act like I'm a Temple football fan and tries to embarrass me, even though I couldn't care less about Temple. I don't have a college.
I have a different. I always root for Temple football, but
I like their basketball team, but I don't go there. I'm not I'm not going to change my life over them.
By the way, Jeff, I got a real quick point to make up, and something just got tweeted out on Twitter about a game yesterday and an effort of a player. And as we were talking here, I'm just reading through it, and it makes sense to me. I don't know if you saw or anything. I'm watching usually, I have my 2 TVs in front of me. One is always on the red zone. One's always on, the national game or whatever game I had bet on. So I'm watching on the red zone, and I see David Johnson Arizona Cardinals take a handoff. And the sound is always off because I can't have two TVs on with both sounds. So the one's always off that I'm watching the red zone as opposed to like the national broadcast. And I saw David Johnson take a handoff, and I could have swore like the play was a like false start, but everybody was moving fast. But David Johnson, it looked like he took a handoff and basically walked out to the left side, took like a 3-yard loss. I'm like, man, that's a really weird play. And I didn't think anything about it. Now I see Ken Summers, the beat writer for Arizona, tweet out, not a good situation for the Cardinals that for a second consecutive week, there are questions about effort of a star player. Patrick Peterson last week, Johnson this one. I don't know if anybody saw, caught it, or even it was a flash play for me. And I was like, I don't understand what just happened there. And they cut away.
Well, I actually want to get into that game right out of the gate here.
Okay, go.
Before I do, though, I just want to touch on one more thing about fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie, the biggest losers on earth, you know who they are? I'm going to tell you. They're the people that sit on their couch with jerseys and hats on, with like their food and like they're all excited. And we're the most delusional people on earth that where like we will actually belittle other people that aren't like that. So like I love the Eagles, but I'm not going to I don't wear fucking hats and I don't I'm not a homer, Donnie. So I'm not going to say I think Eagles can win the Super Bowl because I don't. I don't think they're good. But you have guys that are they're so fan driven that they'll actually say the most delusional stuff on earth just to be a fan.
Yeah, but I'll take you one better, Jeff. Let's just say we're going to go out your way. Let's say Lancaster, right?
Yeah.
And you got somebody's actually has a flag waving of Duke and Lancaster, from there. And where you put an Eagles flag because that's your team, they'd have the Duke flag out there. And I say,
I don't understand.
Why is this?
Yeah.
They didn't go to Duke. You know what I mean?
That's another thing I don't understand. Guys that are from let's say Pennsylvania and they root for Oregon or something. I don't understand. Does your life change at all? If they win?
I don't know. It makes you feel, but Jeff, some people just want to sit down on Saturday and enjoy their Michigan football like it's their team, even though they didn't go there.
No, that is such a loser thing. Even guys that went there, it's you haven't went there for 15 years. Who cares? Donnie, do you sit there and watch William Patterson football?
No, actually, truth be told, I have not been back to campus since 1999.
Because you don't care anymore. It's pretty simple. All right, hey, let's get into the NFL, Donnie. We'll hit that Arizona game first. I'll tell you why that game was on in my household. I actually took it was kind of an exotic bet, Donnie. I took a live bet over 61.5 plus 240 with that game.
For which one?
The Arizona game.
Yes, okay.
And it was 30-27, Donnie.
Yeah.
So I needed Kyler Murray to go kick a field goal so I could get the over.
Yep.
It was a live over.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, I've never seen a team with worse final 2-minute game management than them. I was literally blown away at how bad it was. It was literally hiking the football, Kyler Murray running around and just looking for someone that was open.
First of all, Jeff, that's their offense. But it's so funny you said I had nothing on that game. And I was watching as it played out. And I saw Kyler Murray. They lined up at the line. Nobody was moving really fast. And I looked at the clock and it's 36, 35, 34. So I'm in the back of my head going, is it a tie game where they're trying to run it out? Or is this the third quarter I was looking at?
They got –
It's unbelievable.
I'm not sure if you saw it, but they got no yardage on their own.
Yes.
They had a pass interference penalty that wasn't. I don't know if it was a pass interference penalty.
It looked like it was, though. It did. I thought
it's you were at the 40, your own 40 at that point. Mm-hmm. You needed 20 yards to get into a possible field goal.
Just preach. We're going to talk about a couple of these games. The same thing. I had Buffalo's team total over, which was 18.5. I needed a field goal. They're on the 35-yard line, Jeff, right? It's 3rd and 4. What do? A deep shot to the fucking end zone. I want to kill myself. So you know what they did on the field goal, right? Yeah, missed.
Yeah, it was just it was Cliff was still playing at Texas Tech and
just go make something happen, kid. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah,
Big 12 was out
there. Yeah, and it's why don't you had a timeout? Why aren't you dinking and dunking over the middle, trying to And I was annoyed because I had it was a plus 240. It was a great number. It made sense. The game had been perfect, but it was just brutal stuff. Jeff has 10 different shirts of different colleges.
Good job, Jeff.
Yeah.
What is he saying? You're phony because you have different college shirts on, Jeff? You don't rep Temple?
I just need stuff to wear, and I like certain colorways and shit like that.
Yeah, it's like to be comfy, man. We're built for me and Jeff. We're built for comfort on shows, man.
Yeah, I'm not one of these like loser fans that like has 10 different shirts of the same team and Breeze fucking Tennessee. Or
how about this one, Jeff? You have their home jersey away and the alternate.
Jesus Christ, what a bunch of losers! Like, I mean, I bet. You know why I like sports, Donnie? Because I bet on it. That I don't give. If the Eagles, I can bet against them. I'm fucking betting these people. Some of these guys, Donnie, that literally bet every week on their team because they love their team.
No real fan would draft a Cowboy on his fantasy team. No real Eagles fan would ever bet against the Birds on Sunday.
Bro, I don't give a fuck. If I can win the fantasy league, I'm fucking winning it.
Jeff, hold on. But would you take a cream orange jersey that had a number that started from your chin and went to your balls like Tennessee? Would you wear that?
Just another reason that they're big losers down there. Like, and then Guan White, digital courage is amazing. Listen, Guan, I hope you know me better than that by now. I'd have been told this to your face if I knew you. I think I think fans like your fan base are losers. I do. It's not saying that it's wrong. I just think it's a loser thing to do. That's all.
And tell them, Jeff, you love the Tennessee squad that they rolled out the past couple years on the basketball court, right?
No, I hated them too. And as usual, they didn't win anything. I mean, it's true. Am I lying here? Am I saying anything that's not true? They don't win anything. And
yeah, but they have a fan base that rises up and tells their university who they need to make as the head coach.
Right, and they still don't get it right.
Yeah. Well,
that's how bad they are. Everything they do is bad. There's just these fan bases that are on this level of like, we're better than everybody, but you're not better than everybody. Like Tennessee football and basketball, like Donnie, you know who's been like better at sports than they are? Mm-hmm. Like UCF has been better at sports than.
But how about even Jeff? Like you talk Tennessee, like it was always like the win. They were UConn before UConn. Now they're not that good anymore. I mean, what happened in Tennessee? What happened? Like what happened, Jeff? We need to get into that.
No idea. Guan White's way too in his feelings. He's so offended that I don't like fan bases like his that he's trying to be the big bad big guy. I'm not gonna say nothing to Guan. Dude, listen, I don't give a fuck how big you are or how small you are. I'm a fucking real dude, and I'm going to say that shit to your face. It's not that I don't like you as a person. I just think your fan base is a bunch of losers. That's all. It's that simple.
It's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
All right, Donnie, let's get into some NFL here because we're talking about Tennessee football too much. All right, Lamar Jackson, Donnie. Big game yesterday. I had the team total in this game. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I had the first half. It was beautiful. Yeah. Everything about this game was great. Yeah. I was loving it. Let me ask you, is Baltimore starting to look like the team to beat in the AFC?
I got to tell you, man, like the more I just continue, they're like, you see those pictures where it says this guy's living in 2040 because he has like a funny pair of glasses or what he's doing, or he has like a drone that's, cutting his grass. I'm just flabbergasted because every time I watch Baltimore play, it's like a symphony out there on offense. You know it's coming. You ain't stopping it. And if you think you're going to stop it, oh my God, we run some nasty ass look with a guy in motion that we're flipping to another quarterback and we're having fun and running down. I've never seen anything like it, and I love every minute of it. I'm in on Baltimore, man. I love it. I love them watching.
I kind of fell in love with them, Donnie, in that Seattle game. Defensively, I like them a lot. And they're getting healthy. The Marcus Peters addition has been awesome. Their offensive line's really good. Love their run game. I love them. So do you think they are, Donnie?
I'm still in, they're 7-2. They can beat anybody they match up with. But I got that little thing at the back of my head, Jeff. It's like, you know what? I know Lamar Jackson is really good, and I just hope he can stay healthy because he runs a ton. I mean, outside of a nasty, hamstring injury, honest to God, who's beating him in the AFC? If you want to say, hey, next time this game will be in Foxborough to be different, it might be because it's hard to win in Foxborough in January. But isn't this team built for January? Aren't they the perfect team? It's cold and windy. Don't you want Baltimore's offense in cold and wind?
I'm telling you, Donnie, and I've said this since the season started. This team is going to win the Super Bowl. Get in.
I can't even tell you, because what do you need from a team to win the Super Bowl? You need an offense that is clicking on all cylinders. Check. You need a quarterback with it. Everything that breaks down can make a play. Check. You want a defense and a defensive coordinator that know how to scheme for other teams. And you know what else you need? A head football coach that doesn't blink in the headlights. And every single week, it seems like they're ready to play. Oh, Donnie, they lost to the Browns. Oh, Pitt, you're going to lose during the season.
Everything about them checks boxes.
Yes.
It's not like they have a ton of talent, but a coach like that can't do anything. Everything they do is the right way. The only thing that it's going to derail them is if Jackson gets injured.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's the same with always. And yesterday I'm watching the game, right? So I just got off a show. It's like 105, and I gave out the my 2 show plays. One of them was Baltimore over team total. And I'm saying to myself, like, I took it for a little bit for myself, but I was like, I'm going to save this one for the show. It should be a good one. Don't you always like team totals, Jeff? When like the first update is the Baltimore Ravens in the red zone already. Like, oh my God, here we go.
Donnie, it's funny you say that. I was helping my dad bring this couch up.
Yep.
And I had red zone on, and I see it's like 13 minutes to go in the first quarter, and they're already in the red zone. I'm like, yes. Like, let's fucking go. By the way, Donnie, yesterday in that game, Marquise Brown, 4 receptions, 80 yards.
That's it. Go deep. Hey, would be nice to have Hollywood Brown in Midnight Green, wouldn't it, Jeff? Or a player like that.
Well, you could have, but you took Andre Dillard instead. Also, Donnie, Mark Andrews, Hayden Hurst, got a good tight end group, good run game. I love this team.
They're nasty. They got that nasty energy, man.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. Like, what a great – you talk about a front office, Jeff. All right, we're going to build this around the running game. It was great last year. You know who would be perfect? Mark Ingram. Let's go sign him. Bang, the dude is dealing out there, man.
Let me tell you something, too. Somebody's on the chat box saying going into New England is easier. Listen, you might not have to go to New England because this Baltimore team's 7-2, and they're 8-1. And they got a tiebreaker against New England. So – maybe we better start.
And they got the Steelers in it. They already beat the Steelers on the road, so they got the Steelers at home too. So
that Baltimore atmosphere is pretty damn good as well.
Best kicker in football. Mm-hmm.
Do I have to go to a Raven game?
It'd probably be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
I might have
far
to.
from you. You're close as hell to that too. It's better.
Baltimore's like 40 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Damn. Let me look at this damn schedule.
Get a night game.
Yeah, give me the Steeler game.
Yeah.
Let me look at the schedule, Ronnie. Okay, they get the Niners at home. They get the Jets at home. Damn, all the good games are done already.
They didn't play the Steelers at home.
Oh, they get the Steelers.
Yeah.
They got the 29th. Damn.
Ooh.
I might have to go to that game.
That's a final game, too, 29th. That's the last week of the season, probably. Yeah.
I might have to go check that joint out. All right, Donnie, a couple other things here. Browns win, but don't cover. Look, good for them. They won a game.
I wanted to throw up in that game. I had the team total, the Bills over. So I'm like, you know what? Everybody's on the under in this game. I think I see some angles. Come on, man. If your field goal kicker's going 0 for 2 in these games, missing 33 yarders, man, I just wanted to throw up. And again, the last field goal, which really got on my nerves, is not how you run a 2-minute drill. And the Browns get bailed out. They run the pop pass, which looks like it was a lateral, and it gets run back. I'm like, yeah, I got it. I had to race that real quick. That was just a tease game that was killing me. But the Browns stink, man. Come on.
Yeah, you're getting the same. It sucks, when you have these games like the Browns and the Bears every week. It's like they're just so not about dependable. Yeah. A couple of bad losses yesterday, Donnie. I got to tell you, that Saints performance was laughable.
What was it?
What was that?
Somebody said yesterday, it's like, what was the worst game what was the most surprise? It wasn't even close. It wasn't. Oh my God! Like the Dolphins it wasn't even close to the Dolphins beating the Colts. The performance that the Saints 100% healthy put on yesterday, I still can't. If there was something they said, the point shave in the NFL, they throw games. Believe me, if you just let me watch that, I'll say, yeah, it's that game. A team comes in, Jeff, 7 sacks on the season, gets no pressure, gets 6 in one game against one of the best offensive lines and quarterback who gets rid of the football. What am I missing?
That was my losses today. Now I had the over in that game.
Goodness.
And it's like, they scored 9 fucking points.
They didn't even get in the end zone.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's one thing about the NFL. It's like sometimes those things just happen where it's like, what the fuck, man?
I couldn't and you're waiting, like even at the half, like they kick a field goal to end and they come out with a field goal. I'm like, dude, they're going to win this football game. And every time I turned it on, like Atlanta had the football. Like there wasn't a ton of yardage in that game, but it just seemed like Atlanta dominated. I was like 26-9. It's one of those where I told you before the game, because we were saying on the show, like, well, what do you think Atlanta can get to? If you said Atlanta got to 26, you damn well be sure that New Orleans in the 40s at that point. I'm just shocked at that game.
Donnie, the Colts lose as well. I guess this is – I was kind of surprised this number was so high. I mean, without Hilton. And, look, I don't think Hoyer's a huge downgrade, but he showed yesterday he was a big downgrade. Donnie, 6 missed extra points this year for Vinatieri, 5 missed field goals. Now, let's put this into perspective, Donnie. They lose the Steeler game. I feel like if Vinatieri could kick, they'd have won that game.
Yes, yep.
So that's a win they could have had that they don't have now.
Yep.
Yesterday, they likely win yesterday as well, because then on that last possession, you only need a field goal instead of a touchdown. You were in field goal range. By the way, Donnie, I love Frank Reich. I'm not going to blame him. I don't blame the receiver here. What the fuck is Hoyer doing on that last throw?
I don't know.
What are you doing there?
It was odd all game long, because you know how some games they have that ebb and flow which could change, because the Colts take the football, go right down the field, and Eric Ebron gets stripped for a touchdown interception on the goal line, and right there the game completely shifted. But you're right. I don't have any idea what you're doing. Like if you're a quarterback, you know you have to throw the ball into the end zone at that point. There's no point. If he catches it, you ain't getting it. So what are you throwing it there for?
This Colts team has one issue, and I'm going to tell you what it is. Donnie, loyalty in our lives is great. You want to have loyalty. But in the NFL,
to a fault, man. Yep.
But in the NFL, you can't have loyalty. Like, you got to do what you got to do. I remember when Chuck Pagano was there, Donnie.
Yeah.
They kept him around for like 3 years too long because he had cancer, like 3 years before. Donnie, Vinatieri's not good anymore. It's time to get rid of him. I don't care that he's been there 16 years. He's costing you games.
Yeah, but actually, it's funny you say that, because they are a loyal organization. Because remember with Peyton Manning, like, we're not even going to trade him because of how much we respect him. You could have got a first rounder for him. That's idiotic. And the second part was when Chuck Pagano did get cancer, Bruce Arians took over. It was clear who your coach should be moving forward, and they decided to not hire Arians or make that move. To keep Chuck Pagano. Yeah, no, the organization does it. They're weird. Yeah.
I get you want to keep him for a year, maybe. Fine. But it's like you're now costing the team games, dude. Yeah. Like every game, Donnie, it's the same antics with Vinatieri. Like you're missing an extra point. Like I know, like back in the day, like you miss an extra point, it was like random. But dude, he's doing it like every game now. If he was any other kicker, Donnie, he'd be on the fucking.
No, he'd be gone. He'd be gone. But now this brings into another thing. We always talk about, like, growing up your whole life, you're taught to believe, and you know this to be true. Kickers aren't football players, as we like to say, especially in high school. You're the punter, you're the field goal kicker, you're the quarterback, you're the wideout. You could play it all. But in specialized positions, like, why did the NFL, and again, I want this maybe in the chat box in your opinion as well on this, kickers being more, like, why are we worried now about extra points? Like, extra points should be snapped like back in the day where a guy made 170 in a row because it was a chip shot from, the 3-yard line is where they snapped the football, or the 2-yard line. Do you agree with keeping the extra point where it is and missed extra points, and that adds intrigue? Or I just think it's moronic. Like, why is the kicker deciding something because he can't make a 37-yarder?
One of the things about the NFL that I'm getting sick of, and this is one of them, Donnie, it's doing too much. And in the cases where you need to do more, you're not doing anything about it. Donnie, listen. The extra point was fine where it was.
Yes.
You don't need to move it. Like,
yes.
Nobody wants games to come down to fucking 120-pound kickers, dude. Like, we just don't. You know what Donnie kickers should go do? Instead of being in the NFL, go be fucking jockeys at horse racing. They'd be better. Like, go do that. Like, this whole, like, a punter, like, I'm going to be, like, 260 pounds just hitting people. Like, dude, that's lame. Nobody cares about punters. And
like, if they introduced it, like, if you were a commissioner for a day and you said, you know what I'm doing? If you score a touchdown, you get 7. If you score the touchdown, you want to go for 2, we'll put it at 6 and you can make it 8. Why do we have a kicker even the concept of the extra point is absolutely ludicrous when you think about it, isn't it? I'm going to score. I'm going to work all the way up and down the field, my 11 guys, and then I'm going to put you back at 37 yards to see if you can tack on another point. You got to be kidding me with this, man.
I mean, it's so bad. Like, it's so stupid. It's so lame. Nobody cares about kickers. Like, teams are losing games because of fucking – look at the Bears, Donnie. Like, they've lost games for, like, years.
And they still they missed another extra point. It didn't hurt them yesterday. Could have at the end of the football game when Detroit had a chance, but Panera missed another extra point. And we're talking about, Jeff, a third – like, I don't know if any – like, a lot of people probably played football before, but if you know like a 37-yarder, Jeff, if you go out and line one up, it looks like right now you could easily make that field goal. This is all this player does all week long, his entire life, and they just continue to blow him. I don't get it. You
want to make things more intriguing, Donnie? Eliminate kicking and make them go for two. That's way more intriguing.
Way more intriguing. Absolutely.
What the NFL should do, they should take out kicking totally. Outside of punting. Punting's fine. Take away kicking. Like extra point.
And don't forget about even the two. Like you should be going for, I don't know. There should be, you're right. There should be no kicking. If you want to go for two, go for two. And even if there was no such thing as a 2-point conversion, make them line up at the 3-yard line to get an extra point if they throw it in the end zone. I mean, come on, man.
And also, we should eliminate kickoffs. Just give everyone the ball at 25.
Yes. Jeff, what's our number one rule? If you right now, I'm going to make you GM of the Eagles. There's a kickoff. What's your rule right now? Come on, I see you tweeted all. I tweeted
leave the end.
Yes, or you will be. If you catch a kickoff, I do not care who you are. And people say, "Well, Cordell Patterson," or like Devin Hester's retired a long time ago. Anybody in the NFL right now, I'm sure if one guy returned a kickoff for a touchdown, he would give it back over the next 37 kick returns by leaving you at the 15-yard line.
And it's also, we've talked about it, Donnie. The NFL kickoff's the most dangerous play in sports.
Yes.
You're literally running full speed into like a wall.
Yep, 4.40 full speed, hit somebody in the head.
And Donnie, how many kickoff returns are brought back for penalties anyway?
All the time. Same thing with punters.
It's a waste of time. Like, so eliminate extra points. And eliminate. Also, get rid of field goals. Just fucking go for it.
I think you need field goals. Or the way the NFL is
so eliminate extra points. Instead of an extra point, you've got to go for two every time. We'll get more scoring. It'll be better games. Intrigue's better. Donnie, could you imagine that would be so cool? And then eliminate kickoffs. And one other thing, Donnie.
Yeah.
To make the NFL better.
Yes.
Eliminate the whole if you're at the your own 30-yard line, and you bomb the ball down to the 10-yard line, and there's a pass interference, eliminate that it's a spot foul, Donnie.
No, you know what?
That's bad.
I agree with no. See, I got to throw another layer in the rule book, even though we don't like this. I don't mind the pass. Let's just say it's first down, right? You run a play action pass, you beat the guy 50 yards, and he tackles you. I like that spot foul. Do you know where you're not allowed to get a spot foul, Jeff? If you have 3rd and 10 or longer and you throw a pass of 15 yards or more, you're not allowed to get a pass interference just like that anymore. That's a 5-yard penalty, and it's not an automatic first down. How many times in a football game do you see 3rd and 17, Aaron Rodgers hang out in the pocket, throw a laser beam that has no chance to get caught, but his wide receiver just runs into the D-back? That should never – it should be – pass interference should be a 5-yard play, like you're all sides. 3rd down, now it's 3rd and 5. Good.
Yeah.
I
hate the spot foul thing. I hate that. Unless it benefits you. You love it.
Yeah, correct. Yes, exactly. You have a total. You love it. It's fantastic.
And Donnie, the biggest thing of them all, and it happened yesterday. Why the fuck are we using fucking eyes on whether a guy scores or not? Goal line technology. They use it in every fucking sport. Except the biggest league in the world. We have one guy, Donnie, that might have got in or might not, but we'll never know because we don't have cameras that can see it. There needs to be, Donnie, something in the ball that buzzes if it goes past the line. Some sort of technology needs to be. Donnie, we can literally, on a fucking screen this big, talk to somebody in fucking Mongolia right now.
Yes.
Donnie, look at this phone. You see this phone here?
Yep.
I can boop, 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 boop. Hey, Mongolian winter. Hey, how you doing?
You could put a person on the moon with that cell phone.
Yes.
Yes.
But we don't have goal line technology in the biggest fucking league in the world.
But not even I see what your point is, like a microchip. How hard is it and how much money does the NFL have where, do you know they have Skycam, right? Why are there not a stream of cameras?
No idea.
That are just over the goal line that can zoom in. You're like, oh, look, he didn't get in. And you know what the reference is at? Because the Fox camera, correct me if I'm wrong, it's either the NBC or the Fox cameras. Like NBC has 3 more cameras than Fox or something like that. And I say to myself, What kind of like you don't want to put? You can't afford another 3 cameras in this fucking football game because you know when you go to the Super Bowl they put like 100 cameras, but for a regular season game we don't.
There's got to be a better way. Like there's got to be.
And the refs need to be retrained anyway. The refs got to be retrained. It's just you even watched last night. How many face masks did they call, not call, and oh my god, I can't take it anymore.
But like we're literally using one guy's opinion on whether he thinks they got in or not. And then it's always like, well, we can't see in there, so we don't know what's going on.
Well, how about also this one too, Jeff? How about this one too, right? A football field is, I believe it's 33.5 yards wide. Tell me why the ref or the umpire on a goal line play stands like 30 yards away from the fucking play. Why isn't he closer? There's no wide out. What are we doing? Like he runs in, like the guy just, and how many times you see it? Here's my favorite. The quarterback sneak on the goal line. The refs run in, and it takes like 10 seconds, and they look down, and nobody sees anything, and the refs look at each other, and one dude on the opposite side just raises his hands. Oh, yeah, he's in. Jeez, man.
By the way, what is McCaffrey doing in that game?
Oh, come on. Yeah, and what is the blocking? I actually agreed 100% with the play call, and if you go back and watch it, Jeff,
I would have ran.
There's a couple offensive linemen that don't even like move and just let their guy in.
You should have ran it on third down.
Jesus.
You threw it on third down. Should have ran it on third down. You don't
get
it.
Because you wanted the 2 plays, though. I can't fault that. You want 2 plays.
Listen, McCaffrey, you've got to.
That's the second time he's done that too. He did. He couldn't score on the goal line before.
Like, hey, you wouldn't want to fumble it. It's the last play of the game. You're either in or you're not. Like, and you're not strong enough to like hold the ball in your hands, like
and push it out. Yeah, because what's the big deal?
McCaffrey, but,
yeah, me too. I was interested in watching the end of that football. I didn't have any skin in the game at all, but I was actually rooting for Carolina.
To me, from like when the play happened in real time, I thought he got in. Like he was right there. Because the line's the line. It was
if the ref would have said touchdown, I would have been on the same thing. Like, well, you can't see really to overturn it, so I would find the way they kept it. But
there's got to be some sort of like goal line technology that's better than like. Why isn't there like a laser sight or something?
Yeah, or how about when it's snowing? Like you might want to clear the goal line off, fellas.
Like you remember Donnie in that college game like a couple years ago, they used a fucking index card to measure.
It was the Super Bowl, wasn't it? Or a playoff game?
Like
it was Sterator did it.
Is this some kind of joke? Like, get a fucking laser, Donnie.
That's the thing that everybody laughs at. Like, you have a like a bunch of 80-year-old men with a chain gang measure and stuff. That's pretty good.
Fucking awful, man. So bad. All right. Do we have any other stories? Oh, one other one. Pittsburgh. Big win yesterday.
We talk. The AFC North, Jeff. You want to talk about 2 teams that doing it the old school way? Like, that's bone-crushing defense by Pittsburgh. That's so much fun to watch. And I know you had a bet on the Steelers yesterday. How much fun is it, Jeff, when your defense brings it every play to bet on that? Isn't it fun?
It's interesting, Donnie, that all of a sudden 3 teams that went out and got a cornerback, they're all balling right now.
Yeah, imagine that. Like, hey, let's trade for Minka. And do you remember when it all went down? Like the Ryan Clarks on TV and the Steelers fans going, we're going to be bad. That pick could have been like the 19th overall. We could have got a quarterback. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ.
Minka Fitzpatrick, Marcus Peters. I mean,
impact. Like, not just like he's coming over and playing good football, changing games. Argue it, Jeff. Baltimore. Marcus Peters won the game. Even though the final score was 2 touchdowns, Marcus Peters won the Seattle Seahawks football game because he intercepted that ball when the Seahawks were going to go in and take complete control of that football game.
Minka Fitzpatrick makes a big play every game.
Every week.
Every game.
Touchdowns.
Return. INT
They lost again last week. He doesn't jump that route against the Colts, Jeff. They lose that football game. If he doesn't make that play last night to change momentum before the half, they might lose that football game too. Oh, but you gave up a 1 for that guy who was actually drafted 12th and is a baller. Yeah.
We're worried about a 1 that might be good or might not.
Worried about why are we worried about like if the draft comes up next year and you're the Steelers and you have the 19th pick and Minka is there. Holy shit, Steelers stole Minka. But because you made the trade the year before and you gave up a draft pick who you didn't know who the draft pick was actually supposed to be, that's a bad thing. I always like that.
Look, I love the draft, but like they're the most coveted waste of things ever.
Yeah, who would want a legitimate young football player under team control who's a Pro Bowl caliber guy? No way. We could draft Danny Dimes with that pick.
Let me ask you, Donnie, what's the biggest need for the Eagles right now? Receiver, right?
Wide receiver, not just a wide receiver, a kid that can go deep and make a play on the football. That's it. That's all I want.
Marquise Brown, right?
Marquise Brown. Oh my God, he's 5 yards behind everybody. Even if he doesn't catch the ball, I'll still take it.
Like, if I were the Eagles, I'd have given up a first-round pick for Anderson.
No.
Yeah, I would have.
No, you're not giving up.
Why?
That guy.
Who are you going to get better than him?
Yeah, you wouldn't. First of all, the Jets are idiotic for keeping him.
Who are you going to get better than him, Donnie? Seriously.
I mean, not a 1. You could probably find a good wide receiver.
Who are you going to get, though?
Judy. You're going to get Judy with that 1 spot.
He might be good. We know he is good already, Anderson.
Yeah, I'm not giving a 1, though. Come on.
I am.
Now, you talk about A.J. Green. Okay. Mike Evans. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shout out to the rumor that Mike Evans was available at the deadline too. Like, I don't even know what team's thinking.
Okay, so Mike Evans, I'd give a 1 for Mike
absolutely, I would give a 1 for Mike.
A lot of people wouldn't. They want draft picks.
But Jeff, he's not a controllable commodity. He's going to make money. Yeah, he's going to make money and score 15 touchdowns. That sucks.
Amazing how bad this team is at drafting and bringing people in. All right, let's wrap it up. Cowboys, they lose last night, which is great. You always love seeing that.
Boy, Dak was good though, Jeff. He was good, man. And you know what? But you know what? I actually watched that game and I found myself like I'm laying in bed and I'm looking. I'm like, ain't it great, Jeff? If you have a good offensive line and you have wide receivers that kick the shit out of good DBs and make one-on-one plays and are always wide open making catches. I don't see that too much in my land over here, Jeff.
I never have. Outside of Terrell Owens, I've never seen that.
Yeah, true.
Because at least even Deshaun Jackson, while he is fast, he's weak as fuck.
But he can catch the football. I mean, like Amari Cooper's wide open. It doesn't even matter. Like 3rd down and 9 doesn't matter. Amari Cooper's wide open. Like they just beat your man. Oh my God. But we didn't want to give up a 1. You gave up a 1. Like you wouldn't take Amari Cooper in the draft.
Never drops the ball.
Pick. Exactly. Wide open every play. Never drops the ball.
By the way, Michael Gallup. How did he miss the Eagles?
I like Michael Gallup in college too.
No, we'd rather draft Mac Hollins.
He could do the floss though. So that's what
we're like. Yo, J.J. Ortega-White said he's the best. This guy killed it at Stanford. We're never gonna play him though.
It takes a while to get involved.
Doug Peterson has these like guys he just hates. Like Stefan Wisniewski wins a Super Bowl for the Eagles. Never plays him.
Playing Sam all over to go. Hey, Wisniewski played well this week. Yeah, well, he's just not one of our guys.
By the way. He goes to the Chiefs. I don't know if you noticed this today, Donnie. Wisniewski plugged him right in. He's good.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, let's get into tonight's game here. I got the Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Niners down to the final unbeaten team in the NFL. We'll see if it continues. Tonight, though, they're hosting the NFC West colleague there, Seattle Seahawks. Niners 6, total 47. I think one thing we all know, Donnie, it's kind of been hidden just because of Russell Wilson and how good he is. I think we all know this Seahawks offensive line is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't win games in the trenches, that was one of my reasons yesterday for liking the Steelers, Donnie. I know generally they're going to win. And they got
hurt. Yep. And they were so physical, they even hurt their bad offensive line. Like, dudes were leaving the game. Yep.
They're going to get injured in the trenches.
Yep.
One thing I know about the San Francisco 49ers is they got a hell of a defensive line with Eric Armstead, Joey Bosa, and the big boys up front, DeForest Buckner, D Ford. We also know on the offensive line, pretty solid. Keep in mind, Donnie, they have some questionable guys. Joe Staley, Mike McGlinchey.
Be big if they get back. Yeah.
It's hard for me to bet this game until I know the status there because, again, Jadeveon Clowney has been good for this team. I like the linebacker. Seattle can throw you. And all of a sudden, these two defenses. Do we trust the Seahawks defense, though? I don't necessarily trust them. A lot of people like the Seahawks in this spot. But if I can get McGlinchey and Staley in there, I like the Niners a little bit here.
No, I think the Niners are a better shot. Now, here's what's going to take place. You're going to bet against Russell Wilson, right? And he's going to make some unbelievable plays. They're going to have him dead to rights 5 or 6 times in this game. He's going to slip out, and Tyler Lockett's going to make some sliding catch 30 yards downfield. Be prepared for that. But over the length of a game, through 4 quarters of constant pressure, you would think Seattle's going to crack in this football game.
And is that dependable?
That's what I'm saying.
Trust
That's what I'm saying. Because it's not like we're going to get like a wave, like, ooh, I don't know if they can get. No. We know San Francisco's getting pressure on Russell Wilson, and the more pressure you get on him, the pipe cracks, as they like to say. He's going to make a ton of plays tonight. That defense is really good, but he's even more of an elite level. But I don't think it's enough, Jeff. I don't. So I'm going to keep the same thing that I said from the beginning. Even if George Kittle plays or doesn't play, 31-24 just sounds about right in this game for me.
I'll tell you what sounds real good in this game. And again, I'm not a big fan of this, but teaser, Niners to win and the over. I don't hate that.
No, I don't hate it either.
I just have to win the game over 41.5. It's perfect. It's under that 42 number. It's perfect. I think this is I kind of agree with you. I think it's like a 31-21 type of game. I like Wilson. I think he's the best quarterback in the league, but it's hard to trust that he'll continue to be able to do this Houdini stuff. And again, I like that secondary for the Niners. That defense is real. Great coaching battle here, Donnie. Young Shanahan against kind of the wise Carroll.
I'm still miffed, Jeff, how Seattle stinks on defense, though. It's crazy because if you go man by man down that lineup, they shouldn't stink.
Well, I talked, Donnie, with my brother. My brother is a big Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, I mentioned him about how they got Slay, or not Slay, the other one. What's his name? What's the kid they got from Detroit?
Yes,
Diggs.
Jesus, yes.
Yeah. And I thought, I was like, they get Diggs. He's like, he's the only guy that I trust in that secondary going forward. He said, McDougal blows. Yeah. Marquise Blair's not great. Griffin's not been particularly good. Like, that's your big concern tonight in that game. So, yeah, I'm liking the Niners here personally.
No, I think it goes over, and I think the 49ers win. I'll be shocked, dude. But then we say the same thing. We come with one like, holy shit, man, Russell Wilson was outrageous last night. But this defense does exactly what you need to do against Russell Wilson. It's not so much really your secondary, even though they have a good secondary. It's constant pressure that wears you down. Because when you run for your life, Jeff, for 3 quarters, you're going to get tired, man. It's not like, oh, I got it all day. I can take a break here. That wears on you, man. I think it'll wear in tonight. I think they're in a really good spot, the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're both onto something here. Donnie, quickly, I'll throw out just a couple thoughts on the college card tonight. I'm not even going to ask for you to get the lines or anything. There were 2 games that I kind of were interested in. There's not much on this card tonight.
Action tonight, Jeff. Action.
Yeah, Bowling Green's playing tonight. I know that. But yeah, a couple games I have my eye on. Samford, Belmont. Samford, I think, is going to be an over team all season. I talked last week about their ability at the guard position to create a lot of threes. Kind of a smaller team as well, Donnie. Mm-hmm. Belmont, not exactly a great matchup. Nick Muszynski's terrific. He could have a big game tonight. I think the pace is there in this game. I think you have a good pace. Overs haven't been coming in, but this total has come down a little bit. This should be a fun game to watch. Should be a lot of threes in this game, a lot of good offense. Both these teams are going to oblige you, and both these teams are going to go at the pace you want them to go at. Iowa DePaul is interesting as well. I think this is another game we could see some points in. Donnie, Iowa seemingly had the same players there for like 5 years. The Bohannons, the Wisecamps, the Luca Garza kind of guys. Like they've had those guys there forever. You look at through that 2-game period that these teams have had. Iowa's tempo was really high. Their offense was good. I'm not sure DePaul is going to give them much of a pushback tonight defensively. DePaul's played 3 games already, Donnie. They played limited competition so far. This is going to be a big step up from what they faced. They actually have a pretty good team as well. They have some guys that can create. Paul Reed, Romeo Weems, Charlie Moore. They have some guys that can score as well. I think these are 2 games where we'll see some points, and I think the teams are finally starting to shoot the ball at a high level. You look at through 2 games now, or 3 games for these teams. 3-point percentage for DePaul, 37% as a team. You look at in 1 game for Iowa, wasn't great, but they were really able to create in the half court. They get into the free throw line as usual. So I think at both these games, we can see some offense with these 2. So
Jeff, I need you to take a look at the Fighting Earls versus the Blue Hose tonight, Jeff. I'm looking for an over here. Presby, VMI. I need an over here.
Yeah, Presbyterian, Donnie, is I know a team you seem to like a lot. They've only played 1 game. It was not.
Each only played 1, yeah.
Yeah, it was not an actually. What's the total?
145.
He's a bit high for me.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, just saying. I mean, I think VMI, they're just so dependent on threes that, like, they just don't. Sometimes they're just not going in. But yeah, I don't know. Probably first to 70 wins this game.
That's the game I'm checking out tonight, baby.
Yeah, I know you like Presbyterian. Who's impressed me so far the most in college baskets? I'm going to write a blog this week about that. I don't necessarily have anyone yet. I mean, we're only a game or two in, so I don't necessarily have one just yet. But yeah, I mean, college basketball's getting there, Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably another week until we really kind of want to jump into it. This week, you're going to have the invitationals and that kind of thing. So, Donnie, I do want to share something for all you great listeners out there.
Yes.
And this is something that, Donnie, I would get your pen and pad out and jot this down.
Uh-oh. Go.
I actually spent, Donnie, Friday night going through this because I was really curious as to how it checked out. And I want everyone to listen up here because this is great info that I worked hard on. Donnie, I talked about SWAC teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against Power 5 teams.
Yeah.
So I went back and I did a little fact finding here. Since 2014-15, against the Big East, Pac-12, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, Mountain West, and American. So your top 7 conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi Valley State on Friday night lost by 94 points.
Yes.
Okay, through 3 games, they've lost by 94, 36, and 50. Okay, so over that course of time, they've been 30-point favorites or more in a lot of games. Take a guess at what the record is through 30 games.
Whose record? The Mississippi State's or
Mississippi Valley State?
Mississippi Valley State's. What the record is?
So here's what I'll give you what the thing is. So since 2014, 2015, if you've bet against Mississippi Valley State laying 30 or more with those conferences, your record would be 22-8.
Yeah.
Over that course of time.
Wow.
So I guess what I'm trying to say here is when Mississippi Valley State plays any Division I team outside of their conference, so outside of SWAC teams, you've got to bet against them, regardless. So look at their schedule coming up, Donnie. They play tomorrow night at Western Michigan. Then they get La Tech, South Dakota State. I think until they get into their SWAC season,
you just blind fade them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the SWAC doesn't work out as a whole. Certain teams you've been made money on. Alabama A&M, you'd be 5-2 laying 30 or higher. Pine Bluff, you'd be 8-6 laying 30 or higher. Some of these teams that you'd actually lose money. So, Donnie, you want to avoid fading Southern, Alcorn, Jackson State, and Prairie View A&M. All those teams actually have winning records covering big numbers.
Yeah.
But Mississippi Valley and Alabama A&M, you would be up if you faded them blindly.
And that's your SWAC analysis of the day from the BMOC. There you go.
So, I went back and looked through every game and jotted it down. So that's the kind of shit that I'm trying to find here. So, yeah, there you go. All right, that's that for today. We hope you all have a great day. Thank you for watching. Had a lot of people in here. Donnie, I will be back at 5 Eastern going over the college card. Won't be a long show. We'll only go over a couple games and then wrap it up. And then 6:30, we'll be back for some NBA. What else do you have going on today, Donnie?
It's good chill, man. Hit the gym for a little bit, get the card ready for next week. I got to watch a couple films just to see some of these wacky plays that I was looking at yesterday, see how they play out. But I like Mondays, man. Mondays are fun. And hey, look, sometimes we like to knock the NFL and standalone games. Last night was fun to watch. Tonight should be a good one. Thursday night one was good. Last week had a couple good ones. And then you got Thursday night football this week. Turning around real quick, Jeff. Your Steelers are in action again against the Browns.
Should be fun.
Yeah. There you go.
Go check out Donnie, his website, rightwager.com. You see it above his head there. He's always
and check out the BMO. Well, come on, Jeff. We got some news for these people too.
Yeah,
man. Come on.
Come check out my website.
Damn it.
It's live today. BMOCwins.com. We spent a lot of time on this website. Put a lot of time into it. It's not just a picks website. When you sign up for my picks, you're going to get audio analysis every day as to why I like it. I also have, Donnie, something called the weekly sit down where I'm going to kind of help people become better college basketball bettors. What I look at, what I try to find, stuff like I just broke down with Mississippi Valley, that kind of stuff. Really just kind of basketball theory, kind of stuff like that. I also have a blog on there. I have a review by yours truly, Donnie. You wrote a review about me and some other stuff as well. It's not just a picks website. It's a
gambling lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
It's a college basketball site. So go check it out. We worked hard on it, put a lot of time into it. So, and I even, Donnie, I'm helping out the players that, I got 2 services. It's a basic, which is like 20 some bucks a month. You're just going to get 2 picks a week. No real analysis, just a couple picks. The premium, you're going to get all my picks, all my info. So listen, Donnie, I've talked with you about it before. We can't do this stuff for free, guys. I mean, I know a lot of people think that we're sitting here in robots.
Jeff still lives with his mom. I mean, look at the place he's in. Like, he's got to get paid sooner or later.
Yeah, I got to make money sooner or later. We've got to pay our bills here at the end of the day. So, we can only do stuff for so long that's free. Sometimes we got to make money. All of you have jobs. You get paid to do your work. It's similar. So, all right, everyone have a great night. Thanks for watching. Go check Donnie out on his Twitter. He's always putting out great info and me as well. So we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. You all have a great night. Thanks for watching.
Peace.